Hey everyone, so today we're doing a demo of some advanced features of Google Sheet Sync. If you haven't watched the introductory Google Sheet Sync video or you don't know what this is, I've linked the intro video in the description, so make sure and check that out first. So what we're working with today is I have a demo sheet all set up. So the way this is going to work is we've got our base sync link, which is what we generated in the previous video. We've got some extra parameters, which we're going to talk about today. And then we've got the full sync link, which is just the base sync link with the extra parameters added on to the end. So just a simple Google Sheet formula. So the thing to keep in mind is that with all the advanced features, they're just adding on extra parameters to your sync link. And all of these parameters are found in the API documentation. So as a refresher, to get to the API docs, you can go to trackandtrace.tools and click API. And this will take you to the API docs. So in here, you'll find all the information you need on all the endpoints, all the things that you need to send, all the different parameters, things like that. So we'll go through some specific sections of this today, but those are the API docs. So to get started, let's generate our initial report. So we're going to do import data, B3. Okay, so this is our basic report. This is just what the API is sending us back out of the box. So the first thing that we might want to configure is these headers. So the header data returned is just information about what the API is sending. So what the report is, what kind of data is in the report, when the report was generated, things like that. So some people just want to cut all that out. So to do that, let's go to our API docs. Let's go to the report section. We're generating an active packages report. And then we go to parameters and you can see all the things that we can send. And we want to find prepend CSV metadata. So controls if the CSV header should be included in the output. And so we're going to set that to false. Okay, so we can see the headers are gone. It just starts with the column names, so we're all good. But for the purposes of this video, we actually want the headers. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this. Okay. So the next important piece of this is how we want to set the column names. So a lot of people want to customize exactly what information is showing up in their reports, add extra columns, remove columns, things like that. So it's completely customizable and it's pretty easy to do. So first of all, we need to figure out how we're going to set the column names. And the way to do that is with another parameter. So let's go back to the API docs and we can see that we have the field names parameter, which is going to allow us to set which columns show up. So currently, since we don't have it set, it's just using the default values, but we're going to specify some custom values. So we go back to our output. So the question is, what values do we pass? So remember that this data model tells us what the report is sending back. So if we go to the API docs and look for Metrc package, inside the schemas, we can find Metrc package and pop this open, and we can see all the fields that we can add to this report. So let's pick a couple. So I'm just going to copy in a few extra field names. So we've got label, location name, item name, product category name, things like that. But we see that we've got a problem. So the output in Google Sheets isn't that helpful. It doesn't really tell us what's going on. But because this is being sent back from the T3 API, and because this is just a URL, let's pop this into our browser and see what error is being sent back. So we've got an error message being sent back. Bad request, following fields are not valid. Location name Z. Okay, so we've got a typo. So let's go ahead and find in here, location name Z, yep. So let's fix that spelling. Okay, so it looks like that worked. We've got our custom column names. And everything looks good. So let's clear this out. So next, let's talk about filtering. It's possible to filter what the API is sending back to you, and it's very easy to do. The way filtering works is we'll go back to the documentation, and let's go to the top to filtering. So yeah, all the filtering details are here, but basically the gist of it is this. So to set a filter, so let's say we want to only return packages that are in the vault location. So we're going to say filter equals location name, and then we want to say what kind of filter. So we're going to say contains, and then the name vault. Okay, looks like that worked. We're only getting vault locations back. It's possible to use multiple filters. So let's say we want to only return labels that end in 7. We would set another filter. We're going to say label ends with 7. All right, and that's it. Very simple. Next, we're going to talk about sorting. It's possible to sort what's being returned to you from the API. So let's say we want to sort by the quantity of the package. So we will look to the API docs, find sorting, and we can see a few details on what sorting looks like here, but I'll just give you an example. We're going to do sort equals, we're going to sort by the quantity, and we're going to say it's ascending. And that's it. We can see that now the lowest quantity are first.